Because when some people talk about local government autonomy too, what he's just saying about the relationship between state and federal is what local government crusaders are also saying, that they want to be independent of state. That is yes. So you can see the problem. The local government, in Nolge, they carry that a placard. They don't want it. That they don't want, because they feel that the salaries, if they pay to local government, it will not get to them. So they want the state. But some local government proponents say that if you want local government to be autonomous, that is true federalism. That's why I'm asking that question. The debate was at the National Assembly. We were watching it on TV. So people who supported, like the Senate, approved it. The House of Rep did not. So, or as it were, maybe the House of Rep approved and Senate did not. So that was that question. But I'm aware that is one of the problems with Nigeria. Just like you said, Delta State, I like that policy of the government. Delta State beyond oil, because all our eyes are on oil. You know, by the time you diversify, there are many natural deposits in some parts of this country, even our own area. Natural deposits, we have coal everywhere, but because nobody is looking at the coal for exploitation, we are looking at oil. So for us to come out of it, every state should just go back, look beyond oil. Once we look beyond oil, the average northerner look beyond oil. They're no longer looking at this oil because granite is now gone, cocoa is gone. You see that there will be true fiscal federalism. They will not say, okay, let us discuss well, because they are no longer looking at oil. But now they're looking at oil, they will never discuss it. I agree with him.
Well, for emphasis, I think we have some other natural resources, like we have barite, we have coal, we have columbite, we have crude petroleum oil, fluoride, gold, iron, kyanite, lead, limestone, manganese, marble, natural gas, phosphate, salt, tantalite, tin, uranium, zinc, and so on. And all these are not, they are not tapped, they are just there.
Because oil is dangerous.
So I think we really need to do something about this issue of diversifying the economy, just like the speaker has said earlier. The program is still reaching you live from our studios, Delta TV Asaba. It's focused, and we still have with us the Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Victor Ochei, and Dr. Ignatius Ezem of the Federal College. Mr. Speaker, another issue that has, Riadi said, over these 53 years now, is the issue of insecurity in the country. And it's obvious that the police is seriously undermined by the kind of security situation we have at hand. And that brings us to the issue of state police. Do you think Nigeria is ripe now for state police?
Well, I don't know what you mean by ripe for policing. For every society to exist, there must be crime, and there must be crime fighters. Now, the Nigerian state, you have a Nigerian police force that we all today, we keep talking insecurity, 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 but we are all not admitting the fact that it is high time that the states have their own police. The argument will always be, oh, the state governors will abuse it, the politicians will abuse it to their favor. Is it not being abused at the federal? It's been done. Now, go to all the 36 states of Nigeria. It is still the state government that will buy vehicles to give to the police, buy guns, buy bulletproof vests, buy security walkie-talkies, all and give to the same police. So, if they can do that for the police, why should the states not do that for their own state police, so that we can police ourselves? I can tell you, the criminals we are talking about, we are not imported. They live within us. They live in our communities. We know them. But there are some communities that they have so intimidated them that they dare not speak about it amongst themselves or to anybody else, that these criminals live with us. But when you have state police, it is sure that they know that you are from this community. If you are policing that community, you will not allow, because your father and mother lives there, yes, you will not allow anything to go wrong there because to affect them. Now the state will be able to pay its own police, and then you should be able to hold people responsible for what they do. FBI, they work in concert with the states. So there are federal offenses and there are state offenses. The same way we can have state offenses and national offenses. There are offenses that are, if you commit them, is only to be punished by an act of the National Assembly, and deal with them as such. But the other matters that will be dealt with at the state level. And we cannot afford to say it's not time, it's overdue, because all the states spend money to keep the Nigeria police force, And so why should we not spend this money instead for the state? And this is the same money they go to the center to get as their allocation, and spending it on a police force that is meant for to be catered for by national government. So that is a problem. But I don't see why we will not address this and tell ourselves the raw truth about it. That we overdue for state police.
I agree with him entirely. Because
the issue of abuse, how do you look at that?
No, there's no way it can be abused. For instance, if Delta State has its own police, the police is to guide Delta State. So there's no way it can be abused. It is only when they want political domination that federal government starts seeing police as an instrument of discord. If not, the best is to have state police if crime was reduced. Let us take our towns, for instance. If there's prevalence of crime in your town, and you have this vigilante, once you set up vigilante in your town, you have the children, the boys, the young boys, the youth in the town, the crime will reduce in that town. Because they will know any boy coming in any time of the day. So the crime must reduce. If anything happens, you hold the vigilante. Within 1 month, 2 months, you will not hear about any crime. Because this vigilante is not from the local government, it's from the town there. So it's just like state, to what he's saying. If state take control, the crime rate will reduce. There will be loyalty, there will be commitment, because they know they're answerable. This man is paying us. This man is taking care of our discipline, our control. But what is happening in this case is that the states are financing, but the control is from the headquarters. So the state governor is the chief security officer in principle, but he doesn't take command onto the commissioner. So state police, the country is overdue for state police. That's the engine everywhere.
Okay. Now another issue, sir, Mr. Speaker. At 53, many youths in the country cannot find jobs to do. How do we get out of this problem?
Well, I think you've struck the, this is the straw that will break the camel's back. As a person, that has been the biggest problem that every day I sleep, I think about, because it's a problem that we are going to face. You're turning out youths from our various universities, and there are no jobs waiting for them. Back in the days, while they were still in school, they had even companies coming to recruit them while in school. So the question is, where did we go wrong? What happened to these companies? What happened to the economy? It boils down to the same thing, that we have all concentrated on the crude oil, and without trying to look at other parts of the economy that we can develop. And so it is high time we begin to look at being able to create industries that will take off youths from the streets, get them employed, and also encourage them. If it's agriculture, you must encourage them that farming will get them to an end. Otherwise, if you make farming much more lucrative, by ensuring that whatever they produce, you buy it off from them. Yes. You must bring in some measures that will ensure that some of these jobs which the youth don't find very interesting, you have to make it interesting. And the moment they find that there's money in it, everybody will gravitate towards it. So it is important that this economy must be diversified if we must take our youths out of the streets. Otherwise, those of us today, I pray it doesn't happen in my time, the youths will rise up one day and consume all of us. But the truth remains that we must consciously make effort to produce, to ensure that the youths are emancipated by creating jobs for them. We must also consciously make effort that we must emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. It's mental slavery to believe in the oil, the crude oil, which is a perishable item. We must also make conscious effort to ensure that we must help put in programs and policies of the government that will support the employment programs for investors, entrepreneurs. Even if they have to make more money, do it, but create jobs for the teeming population, teeming youth population, who are watching and staring at us.
Okay, talking about support, sir. Many companies folded because of the problem of power. The high cost of fueling their generators to produce. Now the federal government has privatized the PSC. Do you see that as a way forward?
Well, it's a way forward, because one other thing that I tell you about is that we do not believe in paying for infrastructure in this country. We do not believe in paying for services. Outside this country, you know that if you leave your light, when you switch on your light when going out, that by the time you come back, you'd have your bills will escalate. So when you go off, you put it off. In fact, when you're not using it, once you see the ray of sunlight, you put off your light because you're going to pay for it. You are billed for it, and you must pay. Otherwise, the system is so organized that it will charge you and probably take you. I mean, give you back credit and all of that. So we need to learn as a people first to learn to pay for services. Secondly, let the services be available. Then we'll believe that people will begin to pay. I believe that privatizing it now, nobody will see it as government owned. Now you know is that they are owned by businessmen who have come to invest their money and that is for profit. So you must ensure that you pay your money or you go. It's just like using your cell phone. By the time your credit is finished, you stop talking.
Okay, Doc, we don't have time again. What's your message? Your independent message?
Yeah, my message to all is happy independence to all Nigerians. We should not lose hope. And Nigeria is moving forward. The giant stride we're making towards development, we should keep it up. Crime does not pay. Let us give thanks to God for making us a nation. The nation must survive. God bless Nigeria.
Mr. Speaker, sir, your message?
Well, my message to Nigeria is I believe in this country. I believe we all do believe in it. And I must also encourage us not to give up faith in it, because the stronger we resolve to believe in the country, the stronger we know we are going to come out as a people. And I want to ensure, particularly to the youths, because I sympathize with what is happening to you today, but I also know that in no distant time, the leaders of this nation will arise to fight for you, and the problems which you face today, unemployment and its like, will become a thing of the past. But please also know that hard work is the key to all success that we can ever. There's no shortcut to success but hard work.
Okay.
I want to pray for this country, that it will be well with this country. I believe in this country. I'm proud of this country, and God knows that this country will be great again.
Well, that's a very good message from the speaker, and I want to say that we as Nigerians must keep hope alive. I'm very, very sure. I'm optimistic that the future is bright, and it will come in our own time, and even in the time of the generations yet unborn. And it's on this note that we want to draw the curtains on the program for today. The program focused on Nigeria at 53, considering the fact that we are marking our independence anniversary today. And we want to assure you that Tuesday next week, the program will return, and it will be much more exciting than we have it today. We want to thank the speaker, Right Honorable Engineer Chief Victor Ochei, for finding time out of his very tight schedule to be with us. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you.
And to my brother, the Provost of the Federal College of Education Technical, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. God bless.
So the program